My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Covenant 25 Random. Monster Train last minute. We have a Crucible extension, as well as 2 copies of Molded and 2 copies of Prismal Dust in the base deck. We got the base clans for each of these. Seraph the Patient, as well as Fell Wings of Damnation. So we got to be careful about the Scourges there. Which means that running heavy Ember Drain, specifically in that fight, is probably not going to be a good idea for us. Okay. Merchant of Steel is next to the Umbra banner. And the banner on the other side in the next area. We've got a Divine Temple as well as the Umbra banner here. On the same side as the Hellvent and Forgotten Boons. So I think I'm going to go to the Merchant of Steel, the Umbra banner here. And focus on maybe some... Actually, maybe I even go the Trample line if I can with Penumbra. And then focus maybe on Morsel generation for some extra use of that floor. Who would I really want? So you're giving us melee weakness. Next time the unit is attacked, it takes that much damage again for each stack of melee weakness. But I'm pretty sure melee weakness doesn't get consumed if the enemy hits a Divine Shield. That really limits my choices of frontliner from Umbra. The problem with the Iron Drop Cage is, unless I find very specific... Well, I mean, okay, there's an event that can give me a Descend. There's another event that can give me... Or rather, there's an event that can give you a Descend or Ascend in the Claw or the Trapdoor. Trap Shoot, rather. And then there's another event that can give you the Builder button, which could Descend or Ascend as well. But both of those are events. So I'm not really going to want to rely on those as the possibility of utilizing this. Which means Dripfall is our only trigger for Iron Drop Cage. If I miss Dripfall in both of these early fights, because it's common, I'll never see it again. Take Precious Plating. Monstrous. Thank you. Yeah, they can appear on each floor, that's fine. Pop that back up after our previous kill. Pop those easily down. We do have just two molded in the deck. So probably don't want to just murder a bunch of my own minions then. Not intentionally, if I can avoid it, at least. The big problem here is I do want the Penumbra to get the Prismal Dust here, but if it does... it instantly loses almost all of it just to these Clergymen. This heals us by 6, basically, by killing 2 of the Clergymen. Or rather, tanking the hits of 3 of the Clergymen, actually. And then I could use Prismal Dust afterwards. You'll just go down on the bottom line. Crucible extension and a Shiny Steward here actually protects us against all of these hits. Does deprive us of 1 Ember this turn, unfortunately, but I think ultimately I'm going to be okay with that. Energy. Damage. Not really the ones I was looking for. Actually gonna fish one more time. I'm looking for something like lifesteal. Energy 2 times, eh? It's okay. Yep. I figured we probably had our way around this already. Get him. Good monstrous penumbra. Wow. Okay. Let's think about this. If I can get away without taking capacity as a gem, that'd be really good. And if I intend on going for 3 lines in the monstrous penumbra, then by the 3rd, it will require 6 pips, which means if I get a space prism and I make that space prism intrinsic, then I can play the penumbra already. Or I can do that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Very rude. Or I can do that with the Crucible extension, but then I would also need to reduce its cost. And then I don't have this just roaming around in the deck to be played anywhere later on. Packed Morsels. 3 uncommon to rare Morsels. I think Morsel generation's a little harder for us right now than anything else. Making of a Morsel, maybe? Morsel Miner is really good. This is what this is if I want more Gorge effects. This is if I want more stats. I'll take the Gorge effects just in case. There's the Drip Fall. Couldn't have known I was going to see it, though. Entombed Explosive when I already have 2 Moldeds in the deck. That's not bad. Still think I'd take the Drip Fall here, though. Let's look in the Divine Temple. No intrinsic, but there is a Value Stone. That's actually probably coming with us. Strength Stone, Heart Stone, Immortal Stone? Okay. I was worried about something like this. So Trample is already AoE, but it's only AoE if it can overcome the frontline target, and without many damage buffs for the Penumbra, that's not really going to happen consistently. Shadow Eater's Gorge effect is so good. And there's already a plus 25 being offered to me right now. The thing is, on the opposite side of that, we have the Morsel Maker here, which resolves to summon an Entumbra Morsel as well as a Magma Morsel, which currently can just go behind the Penumbra. It's actually really good right now. And also here has the possibility of doing something really nutty for us. So the nutty thing would be it gets a Morsel Maker. Sorry, a Morsel Master. The Morsel Master's essence is morsels summoned on this floor are duplicated. So then we'd put the Morsel Master into the Morsel Maker, and then at the resolve step, it is summoning 4 morsels. And it itself is still only 1 pip. And then we have the ability possibly to dupe that and put it on a second floor or something like that, right? What we would look for then is another frontliner. There's nothing that says that this Morsel Maker can't do damage. Maybe I just give it some decent stats. I like that. Don't even need the reroll here. I'm gonna remove anything from the deck at this point. A little bit, but probably not enough to do anything. Value Stone on Crucible Extension feels really good, though. Guess I could have a Remnant Frontliner in the next area. I don't see the direction of this deck yet, and that scares me. Unit draft, okay, that could be huge. We have to take it. 4 additional damage on the enemies. That's pretty rough for us. But I still have to take it, I feel. Lifesteal, health. This dread can be resummoned. I'm totally fine with it burning out. Sword extension, nice. Prevents 4 and 9. Pretty work. Unfortunately, we will be taking damage here as well. Let's descend you so that I take significantly less damage on that floor. So you out, molded for the upgraded Dreg. It has higher burnout, so it can actually go in the back line. Go in the front line. Nice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the Conduit Reflector in the back line. Feels like that one's going to be a difficulty. I'm going to get an extra energy set up the next turn, just in case I happen to draw into the Prismal Dust. There we go. Yes, I kill. Perils of Production is really, really, really easy to take now that I have random morsels being generated consistently. This is really annoying. I've only got 2 Moldeds in the deck. I don't think I want to take Purifying Cleanse here. Mortal Entrapment, then? Yeah. So our second floor has the Shadow Eater. Okay. Okay. So I don't need a frontline unit for the second line, but putting something inside that Shadow Eater is actually really strong. Specifically, putting anything with a Harvest trigger inside that Shadow Eater is huge. Yeah, basically worst case scenario here. So I want to maybe take the Lady of the House. A third line unit. So one floor is Penumbra with the Morsel Maker behind. Another is Shadow Eater, eventually with another Morsel Make behind. And a third floor is Lady of the House, just bopping. No. It's too many banner units. It's going to take me a huge amount of time to set up anything. Split Anvil versus Hell's Banners, eh? Well, Hell's Banners is super easy to trigger, so take that. Winged Steel. We play a lot of zero-cost things. A black card deals 120 damage to the front enemy unit. When summoned, everything gets +2. When you play a black card, restore 5 Pyre health. I could use that to allow myself to take a lot of mistakes. It's also trash in the deck, though. The first. Sorry, no, it's not when you play the first. It's when you play a black card. Restore 5 health. Consistent healing is pretty good. How likely are we to leak damage consistently? Right now, not super likely. Take the Amber Stasis here. Allow me to nuke frontline units if I need to. Because it feels like the thing that kills me right now is enemies with, 200 HP, 100 HP in the front line. Especially on early turns. So I've just got 3 nukes lined up in the deck for later on. And they're a lot easier to play courtesy of the Hell's Banners. You push the attacked unit to the back. Okay. So you put the Morsel Maker in front. And then we are the longest period of time away from Talos attacking the frontline unit again. Unless we go Morsel Maker in front down here and then the Penumbra behind. 55. We're literally 1 off of killing the Discipled Foot Soldier doing that. Feels like we lose the Penumbra super early if we do it that way. Another drag. 1, 2, 3. Hits. Sure. Do some damage there. It immediately gets deleted. Perfect. Pretty much how we expected that one to go. I really wish I had this on the turn that the Talos was going to be attacking the Penumbra here. Would be nice. So this only needs to do 10 damage in AoE, which means I could actually set that here and then drop the Disciple Foot Soldier. Then I can actually even get this killed. We got the days for the turn that we were looking for. Unfortunately, now the Drake actually survives, which is it's pretty bad. I needed that Drake to die. Oops. I don't really get too much choice about that one, though. Maybe I should use a calcified ember here. I think so. There's also value in playing them just to clean up the deck, basically. Unfortunately, you got force sweep, so unless this specifically gives us the right minion, we're taking some damage. Oh, nice! Oh, nice. Ah, that worked out. Ooh, Morsel Miner. Unfortunately, that can't go there either. Okay. We'd have to play them like that. Thankfully, Talisman stays, so no pushback. We'll get no pushback on that one. I mean, I could jump block there. I'm getting rid of these calcified embers really quickly. I don't like it, but I am doing it. You've got 2 sources of damage shield. You're about to lose those. Let's bring back some energy, I think. Get all caked up on energy there, and then one more buff. We still do have Mortal Entrapment available in the draw pile. Do I need a bunch of extra energy for next turn? Not really. It's going to be basically the same as doing it in a different way. Those can't be done there. Sure. There we go. You spent all of your lifesteal on that floor. Let's get you dazed. Perils of Production out there. Get him. Good. Very good. Huh. Sacrificial Resurrection. I don't really want that. Yeah, I do have the ability to reform it, but... Umbra Stone. We already have Trample. Blazing Bolts. I think so. There's the Morsel Master I was asking for. So the next area has, yeah, the Hell Vent here, Umbra Banner. Well, Gift Horse, Mouth, etc. Let's take the Morsel Master. It shouldn't be capacity. I don't think it should be capacity. I think with, you know, extra energy coming out the wazoo with the Perils of Production as well as the Winged Steel, it should definitely be draw. Sorry, not the Winged Steel, the Perils of Production and Hell's Banners. Okay. Let's have a look at the Umbra unit. Shadow Eater squared. I kind of like the idea of going Shadow Eater squared. Intrinsic, you say? Crucible extension, you say? We still need to go 1 capacity if we're putting both things on the same floor, you say? Value Stone on Blazing Bolts is actually, it's massive. I'm going really, really above where I should be going right now, but... Oh, God! As I do this, I feel really bad! Well, let's upgrade you. Yeah, don't make it an architect. I need it to be able to deal damage. I feel like this is going to kill me. Them getting multi-strike is actually really bad. I can't take that challenge. Goes there. Alright. And we summon a dreg here. Pop you. Blazing Bolts definitely needs to be played. So this floor does 40 damage to all enemies. Each line. Kind of finding it a little hard to tell who should go where. Definitely go for the Prismal Dust on the top line. That's ultimately what we're targeting, is trying to get largest Prismal Dusts out we can. Two more Shade Splitters. I didn't want them to be damaging Shade Splitters. Just because if they attack, they die to the Clip Defender. But I guess getting you out of the deck is probably better than not. What we want is double Gorge triggers right now. You do damage. It's molded out one of the morsels that otherwise wouldn't have gotten played. As you can see, all of the dregs and the shiny sewards are just straight up obstacles in this play. They are heavy, heavy removal targets for us. Hellvent? I don't think we have anything we really want to Hellvent right. Ooh, if we Hellvent Crucible Extension, actually. Then I don't need to go a... here. I don't need to go capacity here. And it costs us a Merchant of Magic. That's kind of rough. A Herzl's Horde. That's kind of rough. And an Unstable Vortex. That's pretty rough. Final Hellvents in the final area. We'll figure that out in a bit. Where's the Merchant of Trinkets? Here? 2 lines away? Scorched Plains. Okay. All right. 2 times to a random enemy 2 times. So this could set up for the Mortal Entrapment. I'd be loving it if it did. It did. Thank you. I'm loving it. That's the non-copyright infringing version of that. Thank you. I mean, the problem is the Crucible extensions after the first couple don't... Like, 2 Crucible extensions in the deck isn't actually that great. After the first one is played, I don't really want to play anymore. Sorry, after they achieve the opening thing, I don't want to play them much anymore. Maybe I should just go Capacity Gem, skip the Dupe. But that's all future information, because it's not like any of it does anything now. Just trying to draw a random card there. That would have killed us. All right. Let's see if we can win this fight. How would it have to happen? It's probably where we need to start, right? What has to happen for us to win this? So I thought having the longest amount of time to set up on the top floor would be better off for us. And having 2 waves of Shadow Eater, but maybe 1 wave of Shadow Eater is the maximum I can afford. But then the Crucible extension going here doesn't feel good. We want the Shadow Eater to go off before the Penumbra. It's the fact that we fought the boss on the top floor that killed us is the thing, right? And it had 3 multi-strike. Or 2 multi-strikes, so it struck 3 times. I have a plan. I don't like it. I really, really don't like it. For the record. You're about to give me the absolute business because of this plan as well. Thank you for no longer giving us the business. That's the play, right? We get the Morsel Maker on this line. The only problem here is now the Prismal Dust doesn't apply for anything. Applies for 1. And I need to leave some space on the top floor for playing excess garbage, basically. I'll play the card that can burn itself out. That should still be fine. Pylite Master having not taken any damage yet, so I can't hit him with the Mortal Entrapment's really rough here. Okay, we got 2 copies of the Rubble Morsel out on the field. So the ideal thing is that next turn we draw a Prismal Dust. Out of the 10 cards left in the deck, we draw 6. Would this do it for us? Nope. Didn't draw it. We can still try. 1, 2, 3. Didn't draw it. Yep. It would take like hardcore Nemesis play here to set this up in such a way that we would win. That's really unfortunate because the Prismal Dust coming 1 turn earlier or the Molded Entrapment coming 1 turn later. So like if I went through that whole fight and managed my Winged Steel so that I don't draw on certain turns and do draw on other turns, right? I might be able to come away with a win, but that is playing exclusively with all of the information that I know what the enemy is going to be doing the entire time in every single circumstance, and that's not really in the spirit of it. Let's pop it there. Blazing Bolt protection. There we go. And that'll give us the absolute business. So, how would we have fixed that? The thing is, one of the ways I thought I was going to fix that was, like, in fact, 2 of the different ways that I thought we were going to be able to fix fights like that, not specifically exactly that fight, but fights like that. And yes, I know I took a large amount of shards and then I died to a shard boss and things like this. I'm aware. Don't worry. I know that happened. I save that boss having 3 multi-strike. We were coming out on top of basically anything. It could be Sorrow of Sorrows with the sweep and everything like that. But the 3 multi-strike as well as the resolve triggers were really, really, really rough. Was not predicting that was going to happen. But the things that I added to the deck in order to try and account for things like that were Mortal Entrapment. The Prismal Dusts were already in the base deck, but then we based out some of our other picks around the ability to utilize them better. Hell's Banners, obviously, we were probably going to take regardless, but things like the Perils of Production, especially, made a lot of sense in a world where we already had a couple Prismal Dusts in there. Obviously, the Dripfall. Obviously, did we remove many cards from the deck? We didn't remove any cards from the deck. Removals would have been another way to do this, right? Try and get ourselves consistently back to the Molded Entrapment. I'm sad that one died. Because that had the making of a lot of value in here. I really do like the Morsel Maker with the Morsel Master inside, and I'm really glad that I got to pull that off, regardless of the fact that it didn't really do too much in the end. I like that under a Shadow Eater, and then that's 40 damage AoE, right? We talked about the fact that you need to be able to project 30 damage to the back line in the late game. Does that, but it's also kind of like a pseudo-trample, right? It's sweep, right? Not pseudo-trample, it's sweep. But that sets up for Penumbra's trample to be able to go more easily through a bunch of units afterwards. It feels like a good setup. Where was this going to fail, right? If it didn't fail where it currently did, where was it ultimately going to fail? That was going to be when we got to, two big dudes, 3 big dudes, right? Because how do we deal with it? 3 big dudes, we have a drip fall, so we can try and get the armored big dude out of the front line. No problem there. 295 health, and it takes 40 damage to the Shadow Eater. Goes to the top with 250. Takes 100 and whatever from the final level of Penumbra's Monstrous. Doesn't die. So things that would have helped us there, Furnace Tap would have been really nice. The Fossilized Fangs, so that we double triggered Gorge effects, so that we get 20 damage, out of the Shadow Eater every time, also would have been nice. Spells like the Blazing Bolts possibly getting duped instead of the Crucible extension, right? Because instead we would go for the capacity and then we would go for a dupe on Blazing Bolts. That also pretty big, but we were definitely looking for more solutions for those problems than we currently necessarily had access to. But of course, we had a lot more time to find the solutions to those, right? At least 3 before we were going to be fighting that consistently. Let's generate this shareable challenge in case you would like to take it down a different path. The Cinema Spirits Market. That'd be nice, frankly, if anytime you were about to go into a movie, they were like, would you like to pair that movie with a shot? Well, not a shot. That's not really the experiential kind of thing you're going to want to go with in terms of cinema. Maybe like a little snifter, right? And just occasionally having a little bit of a pop from. Cinema Spirits Market, rather, is the custom challenge code for the moment, rather. My name is Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Monster Train The Last Divinity. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.